Hey, welcome back to System 7 Off-Road. Again, we are still working on Austin's Jeep, but actually we're not doing any work. We had a great day today. Here it is, getting dark on us. We have been meaning to do this all day long, but we have been stuck in conversation for the last, 5 hours?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been nonstop. So we are here at Pendleton JEEP Jam. Austin's Jeep has been a hit. We are on the final stretch. We've got a little bit, like the B pillars behind us are primed in white primer, so you wouldn't even know from here until we got close up on it. Well, we got some touch-up work on the inside.
Yeah. And finishing those B pillars, and that's it.
Yeah, and finish. Yeah, so your father-in-law is going to end up finishing painting the upper section of the B pillars. I got to put a rubber pad on the bottom of those. Other than that, this thing's done until we get to stage 2. Which we'll talk about that later. But anyway, now that you've got to drive it a little bit, we've been out here with the people. What's your thoughts now?
It feels like a whole different Jeep. With the reactions that I was even seeing with the people here, it reaffirmed the build, and it's a work of art. And I keep telling that to people, and I keep telling Abe he's a dang artist. But it's exceeded my expectations beyond belief.
So we apologize. We had some rain this morning, but we did get a little bit driving around. Mm-hmm. You got to get in it, do some driving. We'll get some film of that. Now with everything in it, and you actually got to sit behind the wheel with all the things that we've done. We lowered the seats, put the new steering wheel in. What's your thoughts about that? Let us know. I haven't even talked to you about that yet.
I fit like a glove in there. Lowering the seats was huge because my head was almost sticking out of the top of the cage, and that was a big deal, and we don't want that, especially on a rollover. But no, it was it's awesome. I sit in there, I feel locked in almost. Like those stock seats, you kind of feel a little wiggly, but with these, the 5-point harnesses and everything, you're in there like
you're squeezed. And with having the seat that comes up in between your legs, and the sides coming up, you just feel like you're in and you're stuck. And to me, it's a great feeling. PRP makes a great seat.
Yeah.
The other day we got the speakers installed, got your amp installed. I'll show you some clips of that. Obviously all the lights, that came down to the wire. There's a lot of wiring that goes into this, and we ran into some complications with the turn signals overriding the brakes, or the brakes overriding the turn signals, and we had to fight our way through that, but we got all that figured out.
Lessons learned.
It was a lesson learned. So if you're using a JK and you're using the rigid industry chase light, just know that you can't run your turn signal off the rear. You got to run them off the front and then run your brakes off the rear. And Tyler, don't leave because you're getting ready to come in on this. So we got all that wired in.
Yep.
Looks great sitting here with all the lights on. The yellow, when we first originally brought the yellow in, I'll be honest with you, it scared me. I thought Big Bird had showed up and lost all his feathers. But now that we add everything in and everything's done, added the black cage, the black corners, the black doors, it's really starting to settle everything down. And I know that it's either going to be before this or after this. I'll show you the whole interior with all the trim work painted. It turned out great. But
happens all the time.
I'm going to bring Tyler in so Austin and Tyler can talk about what they did to put everything together with the radio, the amp, the speakers, the lights, and how all that worked, because I'm an old man. I don't know anything about all this crap anymore. So before we bring Tyler in here and talk about the amplifier, speakers, and the stereo, let's take a walk around the Pendleton JEEP Jam. This is the second annual Pendleton JEEP Jam. It's put on by a local Jeep club, Jeeps of Pendleton, and there were about 250 some Jeeps that were here today. So let's take a look.
All right, Tyler, tell us what you did with the sound.
So we put 2 DS18 8-inch Neo towers in, pushed about 400 watts to each of them. We're running an NXL marine grade amplifier.
Marine grade. Huge, because they got to be able to get rained on.
Got to be able to get rained on. They got to be able to get wet.
That's right.
Ran some wiring, RGB controller to control the lights on them.
Tuned it. Gave it a little bit more throat today.
Gave it a little bit more throat. It wasn't quite there on the mid bass side.
It's hard to do in the garage though.
It's hard to do in the garage.
Yeah. But when we were tuning that today, man, the crowd gathered.
It really
there was
came
like
alive.
30 people standing around this dang thing.
It really came alive. It sounds really good.
Well, since the build is done, you know, I normally don't let anybody into the garage while I build these things. And Austin, as you know, back in the other films, we met in Moab, 2,000 miles away from home, and he lives 20 minutes away from the house. Said he wanted to be a part of it. I was really unsure about it, but we have done
talked you into it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he really did. He talked me into it, and we've had such a blast in the last 4 months building this thing. Tyler has helped me with the last couple builds in between the sound, putting things together, helping me weld, helping me, you know, bend the tubing, cut the tubing, notch it. I mean, so honestly, this build, a lot of credit goes to these two guys. I can't believe that it's been 4 months. How fast it's gone and how much fun I've had with this build.
Yeah.
So, you know, before we jump off of here, I want to tell you guys both thank you very much. And this was, for me, something very hard to do, to let somebody else in. And I know we've gotten into it, and I'm just like, no, that's BS. You can't do that. And Tyler's over here getting all technical constantly, and I'm not a technical guy. I'm the old fart that just goes on the fly. So it was a great big learning curve for me, but we had a blast. I mean, we spent weekends after weekend after weekend. Shipped him off the week before last to Jeep Beach. That went great for you. I mean, tailgate. How'd the tailgate even come about? That was, how are we sitting around? It was a paper or tape across there. We decided, oh, let's put a tailgate in. I mean, so it was all kinds of crazy ideas with this build. It was just sitting around laughing in the garage, listening to the music, and we just had a blast. So anyway, I want to thank you guys very much. And
man, I got to thank you. I mean, it's a new Jeep, and
it is a new Jeep.
You went above and beyond for me.
Yeah.
And I know that you were pretty guarded with the whole not wanting me around thing, but man, I love to be hands-on. I love learning. I love figuring these kind of things out. I love tinkering on my own Jeep. I mean, most of this stuff I've done by myself, and so handing it off to somebody to do something, of course, it's out of my realm to do, I still wanted to be in on there, and I got to thank you for letting me see all that and observe all that, because it was awesome.
Yeah, at the beginning of this, he's like, okay, so why is it going to take so long, and why are we doing this? I mean, there's more questions, and the first couple weeks, I was like, no, this isn't going to work, this isn't going to work. And about the first month into it, I remember you saying, now I know why you say there's no ETA on these builds.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I understand this, because the cage parts came in 2 weeks late. We were a month behind on this, or, you know, we had some notching issues that we had to buy parts for. I mean, it was just one thing after another. So
totally worth it. Totally worth it.
Yeah. So no, it's been great, guys. I appreciate it. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
There you have it. Polar Bear JKU, the new polarized JKU. As you have seen, we were at the Pendleton JEEP Jam. Got some awesome feedback from there. So now it's time to take his thing, hit the trails with it, get some scars on this beautiful painted cage. So make sure to stay tuned with us. Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.